my personal friends asked me for a really good scary movie to watch during the Halloween season. They said they want a movie that's going to make them jump. They're actually scary, always the question is. Well, I recommend this one a lot because I think this one has some really nice jump scares.
Here's Johnny!
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Expecto Patronum!
The only link between all these cases is the symbol.
The symbol is associated with a pagan deity named Bagul. He consumes the souls of human children.
Released in 2012, directed and co-written by Scott Derrickson, who also brought you the first Doctor Strange. He brought you last year's The Black Phone, which everyone loves. Well, in 2012, he brought you Sinister, which also stars Ethan Hawke. I really like this movie, honestly, and watching it tonight was truly a just throwback, because in 2012, it came out in October, I believe, of 2012. I think I was 6th grade. Sixth grade. I went and saw this with a group of friends. We actually snuck in and saw this movie. And it was something that night, because when we walked outside, the famous question is, when you see a scary movie and you walk outside, are you scared? Do you look behind you and stuff like that? Well, the movie theater where I live, it's like in the middle, like near woods, and so walking out is directly just darkness of woods. So I remember walking out and I just seeing that guy, the guy from Sinister, the Bagul character, seeing him in the woods. It got under my skin, which when a movie does that, it means it's doing something right. Now, do not worry, I'm not going to spoil a lot about this movie. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but let me just say, what Scott Derrickson does with his script, I think he really takes something just very paranormal, and he just ups it to 10. These tapes that you watch in this movie are actually brutal. Like, seriously, the opening shot, seeing this Super 8 crackling film reel, and then seeing a family get murdered, and the whole movie, the tapes are families getting murdered. And they're brutal. The pool one, the freaking, the lawnmower one. I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal stuff. And so Ethan Hawke is watching this stuff because he's a writer. And he's basically trying to write a new hit because his 15 minutes of fame has happened. He's moved on in life. So he moved into a new house without telling his wife, there was a family murdered here, and he's gonna figure out what happened and where this little girl went. Ethan Hawke is a fantastic actor. I think he's really, really good in this movie. This role, it honestly reminds me of like a 21st century version of The Shining. Like, honestly, he's a writer, and he's obsessed with this case, and he keeps watching these tapes, and he's trying to figure it out, and it gets to a point where his wife is like, what is wrong with you? He's like, I gotta figure it out. I have to write this novel, which some people have criticized, saying that's a stupid reason why they keep going in this movie. Obviously, everyone's like, just move, just move. Well, the thing is, once it gets to a point where it's going overboard, he finally comes to his senses, and they say, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, that happens in this movie. But obviously, what the movie's trying to tell you is this story of Bagul and what is happening to these families, and it's trying to scare the living crap out of you. And like I said, the jump scares in this movie, perfect. There's no false jump scares. Everything in this movie, when the loud sound design goes up to 10, it's usually an image you're seeing on screen, and it makes you jump. I remember seeing this back in theaters in 2012 with a packed crowd. So many people jumped and screamed, and it got me, definitely. The lawnmower one, I literally was like, oh my god, like, it made my whole body just woo. But, like I said, Scott Derrickson's script writing and the direction, the cinematography, the dark shadowing, the atmosphere, the movie, it sets you up perfectly for those jump scares. And the story is interesting. I think it's a good story. It's also a good story about the family and reconnecting with your loved ones and, like, your children and how you look at them and raise them. And obviously, he's an author who writes this dark stuff about murder and all that kind of stuff, and so he's known for that. They don't like him in this town, the sheriff doesn't at least, and so his family feels connected. But I will say, I think I gotta agree with the criticisms. There comes a point where you just stop watching these horrible tapes and you just say, no. That's basically what it is in this movie. I gotta say, that's the one thing I gotta say about this movie. But besides that, the scares are awesome. The acting is awesome. The cinematography, the dark shadowing, the music, the score, the tapes themselves make this movie just 10 times more like, oh my god. And this is during 2012, where there was a bunch of paranormal activity movies. This one was paranormal, but it was hard R, and it was definitely R-rated. And obviously, this ending, not gonna spoil, not every ending needs to be happy, and this ending definitely says, we're not gonna let you leave the theater happy. This is a horror movie, and I respect that, and overall I think Sinister is honestly a classic. I'm gonna give Sinister an A-. And yes, I do prefer this movie over The Black Phone, but that is not saying anything bad about The Black Phone. The Black Phone is a very good movie. I would 100% recommend that movie. I recommend Emily Rose. If Scott Derrickson's directing it, I just recommend it. He's a really good director. But to me personally, this bad boy, this is my favorite. I really like this movie. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Halloween review, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody!